What's going on, buddy? My name is Eason, and welcome back to another video. And today, guys, we're going to get into challenges to sovereignty. So we know what sovereignty is. It's basically the right to self-govern yourself. Govern yourself. Be free from external affairs and superimposed stuff. So yeah, challenge to sovereignty. Let's get into this. So we're going to be kind of focusing on communication technologies and how have they facilitated these challenges to sovereignty. So the three main challenges to sovereignty we're going to go over is devolution, supranationalism, and democratization. I don't know how I said that. I don't know if it's right or wrong. But those are the three things that challenge sovereignty. So you know what devolution is. You should know what kind of an idea what supranationalism is. It's okay if you don't know what democratization is. We're going to go into all of these. Start with devolution, which you should know, which is basically a state either breaking up into smaller units or high level of the government is transferring power to the lower levels governments. So that's devolution. Now, the internet has let communication information spread and transfer faster and more efficiently. So yeah, that's devolution for you. So the internet has allowed thoughts, informations, pictures spread across the globe more easy. People could see things from around the world quicker than they could, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 200 years ago. I mean, it took weeks before the King of France in the 1770s knew about, they shot her around the world and the war starting and blah, 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 blah. So yeah. Now think back to a contemporary devolutionary event. You can think of Yugoslavia or another contemporary devolutionary event. What might have happened differently without newer communication technology? Even though Yugoslavia was like 30, something years ago, we still had communication technology. We had the telephone. We had computers back then, actually. You could transfer information on computers. I know that sounds so weird, but you could do that. I mean, telegrams were invented before then as well. So definitely we had communication technology. Maybe not as advanced as we did now, but they were still, a thing. So think back to a contemporary devolutionary event. You can think of one that happened this year, last year, or 1990, or 1960. I mean, we had cell phones to talk to. We didn't have cell phones, so we had like home phones you could talk to people with. But think about this. What would happen if we didn't have communication technology? Would this devolution happen differently? Would centrifugal forces been created? Would there have been a war? Alright, write your answers down or something. Maybe write it as like an FRQ format or something to help you out for your FRQs. I'm not going to really go over any examples because there's just so many out there that I can think of. And so many possibilities of what might happen without communication technology. But devolution challenges sovereignty. So remember that. So actually, I want you to think about, ask yourself, how does devolution challenge sovereignty? I know I'm asking you guys a lot of questions. Figure this out. Alright, so how does devolution challenge sovereignty? Sovereignty is the right to self-govern. So devolution can challenge sovereignty. It can actually create sovereignty. So the Serbians and Albanians in Yugoslavia, they got their own sovereign states. So yeah, Yugoslavia, they wanted self-determination. There was ethnic conflicts, and when Yugoslavia broke up, went through devolution, they got their own states. So they got sovereignty. So it doesn't always have to, challenge sovereignty. It doesn't have to say, no more sovereignty for you. It can do that. So a government can pass power down to a lower government that makes minority groups have no say in government. But they can also give sovereignty to people. Now let's get to supranationalism, which is the practice of multiple governments coming together to create institutions and achieve goals. I'm going to have a more in-depth video of this up on my channel. I'll have a card above the video if you want to go see that. But some examples of supranationalist organizations is the United Nations and European Union. Communication technologies allow people to connect and share thoughts between each other in less time and more space apart. Time-space compression. Take back to Unit 1. Let me drink some water. So they can share thoughts about issues. So not many people live up in the Arctic. I mean, it's cold. Iceland is different. However, issues up in the Arctic are now being addressed more than ever, because of like global warming and oil and blah, 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 blah. But these allow these thoughts to be shared. It's like, hey guys, did you know this was happening? Polar bears are dying. I've seen so many Save the Polar Bear ads on Instagram and other social medias. It's crazy. But if we didn't have communication technologies, then maybe no one would know what the polar bears are dying, or maybe no one would care because they don't have an explanation of what happens if the polar bears die. What happens with global warming? And they can also link countries together for various alliances. So, supranationalism can limit sovereignty. It can limit political and economic policies in certain states. So in the European Union, there's a common currency. So it's challenging the sovereignty of a state, saying, okay, you have to have this currency, you have to have open borders, no trade tariffs, all that stuff. That challenges economic sovereignty of a state. And then, of course, it links together countries for various alliances. We see North American Treaty Alliance. North American Treaty Organization, not alliance. That links together for military alliance. So if you attack one state, you attack all the other member states. Now let's get about democratization, which is the introduction to democratic ideas, principles, and policies. Communication technology allows the spread from other regions and outside forces to various people and groups, so information that people may not talk about are talked about now. And this, of course, challenges sovereignty as well. So maybe states that don't have democracies now are democratic ideas. Since communication technology are now bigger than ever, they may be adopting democracy ideas and policies and principles and all that stuff as well. So it can challenge sovereignty and say, alright, so let's just get some democracy stuff in there. Let the people have a say in the government. Alright, that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a like down below. It really helps me out. Subscribe. It's free. You can change your mind if you don't like it. If you want to teach something new to people or learn something new yourself, join my Discord server. The link's in the description down below. Complete the skill check on the screen. It'll really help you out. I got nothing else for y'all. So adios.